Hey there and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations and thank you for joining me today. If you are a regular subscriber, then thank you, bless you for tuning into my channel and helping out. All the viewerships help me be able to keep coming at you with some new ideas and new crafts. And if you are new to the channel, then welcome to you as well. Hopefully you enjoyed enough that you subscribe and give us a thumbs up, keep us coming at you. Today, I thought that, you know what, I got a couple of these little mini grapevine wreaths, and I like the idea of little wreaths because you can just hang them in front of small little pictures that you may have on your wall. I like just propping them up against candlesticks, putting them into little vignettes. If you have some tiered trays, they're really cute in that. So they're very versatile to add just a quick little touch somewhere, whether you choose to hang them or just lean them, place them. And I thought I'd do one with rags. So like an old little rag wreath. And so what I do have is an old cotton sheet. So I picked this up at the Value Village. So it's just an old cotton sheet. I like them when they're just like the full cotton. And I just cut off the seams. I save them because I use them for ties in other things. So really, I use the whole sheet ultimately in different crafts. But I like to tear them. So I'll start at one edge, do a little clip. This is about an inch thick, and then I rip them because I like having these uneven, kind of slightly frayed edges. The other thing I have is another piece of cotton. This one wasn't a sheet, but I will often do a sheet. This one is a little bit more like a drop cloth. It's not quite drop cloth, but kind of that. Also cotton that has been stained in coffee. So I end up with kind of the two tones, and I'm thinking I may go with that. But what I need to do is I need to break them down into strips. So roughly an inch, and just tearing them, right? So we are just going to tear these, and then I want to have about I'm gonna say about 8 inches, because I'm gonna be tying a knot in this, so I haven't cut one yet. Now, once I've got one cut, I don't sit there measuring all the time. I just simply move it along, use it as my measure, and cut the next piece. Because that's too crazy making. So this tail is too short. I'm just gonna put it off to the side. I will definitely be able to use it in another project. So again, I waste nothing. I've got a piece of the light cream, and this is more of a soft cream color than it is a white sheet. But again, I buy white sheets and I use them in crafts and I stain them up, whatever I happen to be doing. But let me just get some of this cut and show you what we're doing with this little wreath. And again, how simple it can be. This is a longer piece of fabric, so bear with me here. And that piece is too short. Okay, so all I'm looking at doing with my wreath is simply taking my rag and tying a knot, right? So it doesn't even have to be fully formed. And you can see with this being 8 inches, because I lose a lot of it around the body of this, I end up with maybe, well, let me tell you for sure. I end up with maybe about 2 inches sticking out, which I think is kind of an appropriate length for this size of a wreath. You could have something thinner. You could do this on an embroidery hoop, in which case then it's going to be a little bit thinner, and you could do the same length of this and have this sticking out a little bit more. But on this wreath, because of the size, I think that 2 inches is about right. And we have the opportunity after we've tied things on to go back and trim it up a little bit if we wanted. Now, I liked the fact that this was kind of in the neutrals, natural kind of tones. So too is my fabric. So as I tie, if I don't cover all of my wreath form, I'm okay with that, right? That's not gonna bother me. And so all I'm looking at doing is alternating as I go around. So I had the light cream, then I did the coffee stained. I'm just going on the other side of the light cream, doing another coffee stain. And I am going to just do this all the way around my wreath. And when I'm done, we'll maybe do a little bit of an embellishment on it, but we're really looking for it to just kind of stick out in this direction. So you can see that you'll end up with some threads that will trim off, and we might even out the length of some of my strands because the tying makes it go different. But I'm just going to carry on with that. So I'm going to rip up a couple more strips. I'm going to keep on tying around, and I'll come back at you when it's done, and we can talk about next steps and embellishment options of this little guy. We have our little mini rag wreath all tied off. And before I do anything else to this one, I want to do one other one. And I want to do it in a slightly different way to give you two different options to be able to use up rags. And when I started to embellish, I'm going to embellish both. So we'll kind of rough it out that way. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a strand of my cream colored sheet here, which has lots of loose strings catching on everything. So just give them a clip and keep going. And I'm just going to wrap this all the way around. Now I didn't have to anchor it in the beginning because I overlapped slightly, and you want to continue to overlap as you go so that we're covering all of that wreath base. But what I'm looking at doing caught up is just kind of wrapping this tightly around the entire base so that we get that one solid color all the way around. And I don't care about the threads because I want it to look a little bit organic, but I am making sure that I continue to keep my fabric ribbon flat so that it's not twisting up. It's just creating a nice, smooth, kind of even coverage all the way around. And as I get to the end, I don't have to worry about cutting anything off. I will just keep wrapping until that piece is done. And it just happened to finish off nicely on the back part. So we just end up with a nice little fabric colored. I'm just going to do a check to see whether or not I like the look of this one, of the darker stain, and I'm doing a really wide kind of looping around here, and I'm just holding it in place with my thumb to see what I think of it before I glue anything down. So just seeing whether or not I like that kind of two-tone effect, just for a little bit more interest. And think I'm sold on that. So I'm going to glue the two ends down. And let them firm up. And just cut off some of the inevitable straggly threads here. Okay. So we've got our two little wreaths here. What I'm looking at with this one, and I just want to kind of loosely sort of tie it off. I want to keep it fairly simple. Now, what you can do is glue in a little piece of, you know, one of our short ends, right? We can glue that down into where the top is going to be so that we have a little bit of a fabric loop if you want. I think I'm going to pass on tying a loop, and I'm just going to leave this so that I can kind of lean it. But what I am looking at is possibly embellishing this one, and I just open a new little bag with some small solar wood flowers. Let me just see what that looks like. Get a couple of dark ones. Let me see if I can hold it up without, so that might be kind of cute, but I think that it still needs a little something. I like it because the wood is in the same tones, right? The cream, and then we've got this flower that's got a little bit of the skin left on the wood. So that looks cute. I'm just thinking I might need some little skinny tails. And this is where my little edging comes in, because I have that in a super thin little format. I just might want to have a couple of them in this darker tea stain look too. Just want to cut a couple. Too small to pull. All right, so I have a couple of these and a little bit of the cream. All right, so I'm going to glue those down in place first, and once I get everything glued, then I can trim those up if need be, so that I get a length or a look that I like. All right, and now we will look at gluing our flowers in place. And these little solar wood flowers are just so cute. Ooh. All right, I just spied a little rose. I love that one. Okay, I have to use it. that one's too cute not to use. Pop you back in there. I'll drop in the link of where I got my solar wood flowers. You order them by packs. So, you know, like these are skinless minis, meaning that there's none of the dark on them. These are an assortment pack of both, kind of in that, there's some medium, some big, that sort of thing. You can also get them in colors, and you can completely dye them whatever color you want. So they're pretty flexible in the sense that you can go in any direction with them. I think there's a lot of people that use them in their wedding bouquets, because then they don't have to worry about what's in season. And all right, I'm just looking to see if there's any that I think I need to just roughly trim. But there's our little rag wreath, and I would have that hanging just slightly off center. I love that. I think that's super cute. And again, you can attach on a little loop. I think I'm going to attach a loop on, but I'm going to do it with a really thin piece of twine, maybe in the natural tone. And then I've got flexibility of where to hang it. And I like just even the thought of that hanging in front of a big picture that you have on your wall, or a mirror, looping it down maybe from the handle, you know, on a kitchen cabinet or a big armoire cabinet, or leaning up against the candlestick in a vignette. Super cute. All right, so love that. Now this guy, I am thinking of doing something similar so that these can get staged together, meaning I was thinking of using this as the base for doing a lot of the flowers on. Not all the way around, so I want to pick where I like my turns best. Okay, so I think I'm gonna glue flowers here, and I just might want, again, some loops hanging down from it. In which case I'll glue those on first, and then I will glue my flowers in place so that they go over the top. And here's another little piece. Okay. Let me see. Let's see what we got. Ooh, there's another one of those roses. I've got a couple of those roses. So you can see these kind of rose buds, and then a little bit more densely packed ones. I like this little guy too, because he's nicely detailed. So I need to have a couple. Let me see. All right, let's just glue a couple in place and go from there. So it's just a case of kind of playing with this a little bit to kind of get a look and an overlap that works for you. There. So we look at the two together, two different looks, two of the same little wreaths, both super cute. So don't overlook just old rags and little embellishments that you have in the house. I think that this would work with, I mean, I had the solarwood flowers, which were kind of in the same vein, but you could put some little cream colored flowers and some natural sticks would be great. Some natural vines coming down would be awesome. I think that, again, like this one, you could leave even on its own, would look cute. You could do this with a little bit of lace ribbon wrapped around over top so that it gets a little bit dressier looking. Just a nice, cute little embellishment, whether you put them on your tree, you put them in your home for decor, just to add a little bit of touch of Christmas here and there. Give this a try. Let me know what you think. Certainly in the comments, if you give it a try, drop in some pics. We'd love to see them. But apart from that, I look forward to seeing you here next time. Take care.